stories. Two patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Eritrean nationals in the diaspora commemorate the 60th anniversary of the armed struggle for independence. New Zealand extended a strict lockdown in its largest city today. And North Korea says it's carried out a long-range cruise missile over the weekend. The local news. We have an announcement from the Minister of Health. 2 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Asmara Central region. On the other hand, 3 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central region have fully recovered and are being discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,614, while the number of deaths stands at 40. And the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,657. Minister of Health, Asmara, September 13, 2021. Eritrea nationals in Kuwait and Qatar commemorated the 60th anniversary of the beginning of the armed struggle for Eritrea's independence with patriotic zeal. At the commemoration event the Eritrean community held in Kuwait on September 10, Mr. Humad Dihia, chargé d'affaires at the Eritrean embassy in Kuwait, gave a briefing on the significance of September 1st and the history of the Eritrean people and called on the nationals to strengthen organizational capacity and participation in national development drives. Speaking on behalf of national organizations in Kuwait, Mr. Abdul Qadir Saleh underlined that September 1st is a day in which nationals renew their pledge to build peaceful and prosperous country and called for strengthening organizational capacity and contribution and participation in the national affairs. Likewise, in a speech he delivered at the commemoration event the Eritrean community in Qatar held on September 3rd, the Eritrean ambassador to Qatar, Mr. Ali Ibrahim, conducted a seminar on the objective situation in the homeland and the region, highlighting on the significance of September 1st and the history of the Eritrean people and the heroic feat the Eritrean people demonstrated in the 30 years of armed struggle for independence. Ambassador Ali called for strengthening organizational capacity. The ambassador also answered questions forwarded by participants. Effective malaria control measures are underway in Tessenei subzone. This according to reports. According to Mr. Awad Mabrahatu, public health expert in the subzone, the measures being undertaken include eradication of mosquito breeding areas, conducting environmental sanitation activities, spraying anti-mosquito drugs, as well as distribution of impregnated bed nets. Stating that Tessenei subzone is known for its mosquito breeding climate, Mr. Awad said, as a result of the effort conducted, the prevalence of malaria has dramatically declined and that over 96,000 impregnated bed nets were distributed to the inhabitants and anti-mosquito drugs were sprayed in over 26,000 households and mosquito breeding areas. Mr. Gabriel Tarasta, head of health service in Tessenei subzone, pointed out that malaria-caused death rate have declined to its lowest level and called for sustainable effort for better outcome. The National Union of Eritrean Women branch and the Southern region organized trainings in beef farming and poultry to 30 females. At the graduation ceremony conducted on September 10th in the city of Mendefra, Ms. Senait Aforki, head of the National Union of Eritrean Women branch and the Southern region, said the objective of the theoretical and practical training is to enable the trainings become economically self-supportive and improve their lives. Stating that 10 were trained on poultry and 20 in beef farming, Ms. Elsa Aforki, head of administration and finance of the branch office, said the trainees on beef farming and poultry were provided with 2 beehives and 25 chicks each, respectively, to help them generate income. The trainees commended the program and called for sustainable support from administrations and concerned institutions in their endeavors. Similar trainings were also provided in Dekmahare and Dbara towns. This is according to further reports. And now back with international news. After a short break. Welcome back. North Korea says it has carried out a series of successful tests of a long-range cruise missile over the weekend as the country continues to expand its military capability amid stalled nuclear talks with the United States. The Korean Central News Agency said today that the cruise missiles, which had been under development for 2 years, successfully hit targets 1,500 kilometers away on Saturday and Sunday before falling into North Korean territorial waters. The North hailed the missiles as a strategic weapon of great significance that meets leader Kim Jong-un's call to strengthen the country's military might. Pyongyang's last known missile test was in March when it launched a new tactical short-range ballistic missile. It also conducted a cruise missile test just hours after U.S. President Joe Biden took office in late January. More than 1,200 civilians are being killed in the restive Democratic Republic of Congo, provinces of Ituri and North Kivu. So far this year, millions of people now need humanitarian aid in the eastern region. This is according to the UN Refugee Agency. DRC authorities declared a state of siege in May, an exceptional measure aimed at ending the reign of terror by armed groups operating in the region. Mostly notable, the Allied Democratic Forces, a group linked to the so-called Islamic State. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees and his partners recorded more than 1,200 civilians dead and 1,100 rapes this year in the two most affected provinces of North Kivu and Ituri. This is according to UN Refugee Agency spokesman Boris Stefan Kolf. Last weekend, rebels shot and hacked to death at least 30 people in a new massacre in Ituri, UN sources said on Monday. And a reminder of the top stories. Patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Eritrea nationals in the diaspora commemorated the 60th anniversary of the armed struggle for independence. New Zealand extended a strict lockdown in its largest city today. And North Korea says it's carried out a long-range cruise missile over the weekend. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.